Alright there, my name's Ragtag and I'm the greatest gutter tier gamer on the face of this earth, and today we're going to take a look at one of the most divisive guns in Apex Legends, the Wingman. How is it that of all the weapons in this game, of all the machinations which you can conjure to bring your enemies to a just death, mainly involving bullets that have been individually engraved with the words third party on it, which then proceed to enter the back passage of said enemies, sending them to their doom, their salty tears dripping on your boot as they alt and F4 or pull the plug on their Xbox just to avoid viewing that finisher that you're about to humiliate them with. Yeah, how is it that of all the weapons, the Wingman is the one gun that seems to separate the Gibraltars from the Wraiths? I mean, some of you may think that you know the answer to this already, and as you prep your comment with your typing fingers coiled like a traumatized snake whose owner did nothing but walk up to its cage and sneeze on the glass day after day, just know that that poor snake had to watch the spittle dripping slowly down the surface intermixed with those greens and yellows until the opportunity arose to take righteous vengeance on that owner, lunging into his neck and biting deep. Well, it turns out that the poor dude simply had an allergy to the snake itself, but the snake didn't care, for it pounced with ruthless aggression to silence that sneezing for eternity. So before you bite me in the neck with your venomous comments, I urge you to consider two things. One, I'm right, you're wrong, and two, get back in your cage, bitch! Yeah, look, I'll bring you back to the footage and the music in a second. I thought I'd bring you here first, though, to the training range to show you the most important thing about the Wingman. You see, I have a theory about why so many donkeys are terrible with this gun, and it is actually to do... Give me that freaking thing. By the way, I am amazing with this, so just to prove that you should listen to every word I say, watch me just decimate these three targets with total ease. Oh, for fuck... Wait, I wasn't ready. I was just, you know... Yeah, that's right. You do listen to me. Now, I was going to say, my theory is to do with sound. You listen to that. I mean, you hear the sound of that Wingman. It's like throwing a lion across the battlefield, and you hear it roaring as it goes towards your enemies. It sounds absolutely terrifying. So the whole thing about it is, when you fire the Wingman at someone, those nublets are going to be clenching their butt cheeks in anticipation of getting their eardrums perforated by the destructive power of this gun. It's absolutely astonishing. But the other thing is the reverb, or reverb, whatever you want to say. Where does that come from? Because it doesn't matter where you stand. If I do it like down here against the wall, or if you're out in the open, you're in a mountain, you're in a building, whatever, wherever you stand, you discharge it into a supply bin, the sound of that Wingman is going to ripple through the fabric of reality. That is a motherfucking fact. Now, if you put a skull piercer on the Wingman, it kind of sounds like someone has unsheathed a sword the size of a mountain. What's that noise? Respawn, I found another bug for you. You can go and fix that. Anyway, look, the psychology of the sound is simple. So people that get wrecked by the Wingman, they want to use the Wingman, obviously, and it makes sense until they discover that they are in fact pathetic losers with no balls. So that big bad sound of the Wingman ends up being, well, it feels like they've just picked up a display weapon from a gun case, you know, and all it does is fire bountiful blanks. So basically, these powerful, bombastic blasts, so to speak, of the Wingman, they're not matching the expected results of that beautiful sound that you're hearing. And that's my theory. So you can shove that right up your cock. Clearly it's more than just a noise though for these nublets, isn't it? It's to do with the magazine size as well. 4 is a small number before you realise that your PP shooter has no more go-go juice in it. Noobs will panic, make twitchy shots that just don't make sense. Of course I hit every shot, so I've nothing to worry about. But I do sympathise with people who shite themselves at their failures manifesting to reality. Now, close-ranged combat for a loser means that they spend a short amount of time with extreme noise pollution on their side, and then after the fizz-fizz-bang, they get to experience the reload time whilst performing some kind of rendition of Swan Lake as they bounce through the air. Isn't it funny the things that we do as we're reloading in Apex Legends? Some people look like they've just been set on fire, others crouch as if they just got smacked with a nutbuster. Me, I kind of do a combination of the two with a good old dose of electric shock therapy in there too, but yeah, without an extended mag, the average players will suffer, and many will use their second weapon for actual damage in close combat. Obviously, the extended mags will help out, but this is the kind of gun you take and ride the storms of RNG or get wrecked with the rest of the nubs. Another reason people suck with this gun is because it's semi-automatic. I mean, why do people love the R99, the Spitfire, the Flatline? Okay, maybe not so much the Flatline, but yeah, the art of course correcting is important if you suck at FPS games. Now, if you've heard the infamous line on causality from Matrix Reloaded, where the Merovingian explains that he drank too much wine, therefore he had to go and find that blonde woman in the restaurant and have a oh, no, wait a minute. The analogy was if you drink too much wine, you need to go pee-pee, that's right. And yeah, if you go to your magnificent bowl to unload, but you make an error in your flow, you can correct the stream so that it graciously lands as you originally planned. And that is why fully automatic guns are so good for everyone, especially losers. But when you have to click a single fire weapon at your enemy, you have to register where they were, when you've missed of course, make an adjustment and then try again anew, only to miss again and feel the sting of limitation hitting thin air again and again. It feels like your windows of opportunity narrow, and then the end result is the same as always, with you lying flat on your arse staring up at the sun wondering why you're still playing this goddamn game. The simple fact is, fully automatic weapons make you feel like opportunity is knocking. As long as you've got your button pressed or the mouse button held down, there's still a chance of something better happening, but every time you click it you realise what you already know. You're a bag of shite. Next up is projectile speed. Yeah, this is one of the ones that a lot of people struggle to work out, myself included. The Wingman sounds like a hit scan. When you get brapped by it, you think you've been hit by a hit scan, but you try to use it like a hit scan and you get the unsurprising result of being absolutely freaking useless. Now the bullets are fast, no doubt, but the fastest? No, definitely not. This means that the old chestnut of skill ceiling rears its ugly head, where you need a constant adjustment in mind for the range and the trajectory of your opponent's pathing or whatever. And as I talk, I know right now the nublets have already zoned out, so let me bring you back by saying, hey, you're shite, you've got no aim, you couldn't slap a rhino's butt cheeks if I put them right in front of you, but that's alright. You can pretend that spending hours in the training room will do you some good. It won't, but you'll feel better afterwards. Welcome to the layer cake. You're the crumbs. Projectile speed is a biggie because it either feels like you're too late or you're too early. I love that phrase. If you're not fast, you're last. Well, that doesn't apply to you. You're always last. Moving on to optics. A lot of good players have told me that they don't like the thermal sights on the Wingman and they actually prefer a good old 1x HCOG or whatever it is, the red dot sight. Some others have told me that certain skins, is it the Merciless or whatever, that those iron sights help enormously and they prefer them. And whilst that's all good and well, most of us don't have any intention of purchasing a goddamn skin for an iron sight, so unless it falls into my lap magically, just like the kunai did, yeah, we're gonna chuck it in the fuck it bucket. Basically, I think a good sight is probably far from the troubles of the donkeys who are finding the Wingman impossible, but just in case there is the slightest chance that it can help someone go from 0% to 1% success, I think it probably seriously does pay dividends to get used to the same optics rather than picking up a 1x, 2x hollow or whatever and then never changing back to what you were finally getting good at just because you can't be arsed. Now, as you watch my splendiferous gameplay with no mistakes in there whatsoever, you must be wondering, but Ragtag, why do I really still suck at using the Wingman? Maybe you're having the internal dialogue of a loser right now. You know, that inner voice. The one that says, sometimes I do really well, other times I miss every shot and cost my team the game before my dog unleashes a massive fart on my lap. And my friends abandon me as they go out to pickle their livers whilst I'm a self-loathing, slithering ooze on the boot heel of society. I feel each missed shot as if I'm being stung on the balls by a scorpion the size of a medium alligator. And the reason people still suck with the Wingman is because they are blinded by the damage reward being so high, particularly with the Skull Piercer, but the punishment for not putting out that damage is a cost that is too great to bear for most insignificant whelps, which leaves us in a predicament. Do we take advantage of the beautiful headshot damage, or do we just try and hit our target anywhere? I'd say if you suck, which you probably do, you'd be better off looking at critical strikes like this. It's an occasional blessing from the gods. Now, the sheer range at which you can output damage, be it close or far away, and the utility of the Wingman in general, makes me believe that everyone should be giving it a chance. Rolling with a second weapon like an R301 or a Spitfire or R99, something that can give you that full auto fix, is a very good idea. But I am honestly starting to love this gun. I think it is great for the game. It packs a huge punch. The fear of missing every shot, or I was maybe dismissing how the mechanics worked and the projectile speed, I think those were probably mounting up and making me avoid it. But if you can push through that barrier, remember that the ADS speed as well for the Wingman makes it worth doing. Confidence can be built even for the biggest stone cold loser in this game. Just remember the skill ceiling. It's a slow learning curve. A climb, if you will, especially for people like you and me, where we learn things about as fast as an anaesthetised hamster working out its first wheel rotations. A climb! Well, not so much in rank, but in Wingman skill, with many face plants and inexplicable dumb moments that all starts with a single click of your mouse or a push of your controller button that ends with one of those being thrown out the window just to prove that testosterone still exists. Now stop your whinging, stop your whining, get out there and smack someone right in the dick.